Well, good morning. Welcome in. Good morning, Joey. Today is November the 17th, 2024, and we're going to be in Proverbs 17. Syncs up with that date. It is a Sunday morning, and I'm in my YouTube studio, not completely decorated. You can see, I didn't realize you could see the bed over there, but you can. And right now, this is where we're gonna be. So let's get started. Verse 1. Good morning, Rebecca. Welcome in. Verse 1, chapter 17. Better is a dry morsel with quietness than a house full of feasting with strife. A wise servant will rule over a son who causes shame and will share an inheritance among the brothers. The refining pot is for silver, and the furnace for the gold, but the Lord tests the hearts. An evildoer gives heed to false lips. A liar listens eagerly to a spiteful tongue. He who mocks the poor reproaches his maker. He who is glad at calamity will not go unpunished. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children is their father. Excellent speech is not, you know what, wait a minute. I skipped over a note and I'm sorry. Let's go back to verse 5. He who mocks the poor reproaches his maker. He who is glad at calamity will not go unpunished. And that note says the poor and needy are easy targets because they are powerless. But all people are made in God's image. To mock the poor is to mock God. To be glad over someone's misfortune makes one capable before God. Now, sorry about that. We'll just go back into verse 6. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children is their father. Excellent speech is not becoming to a fool, much less lying lips to a prince. A present is a precious stone in the eyes of the possessor. Whoever he turns, he prospers. He who covers a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates friends. Rebuke is more effective for a wise man than 100 blows on a fool. An evil man seeks only rebellion, therefore a cruel messenger will be sent against God. Against him, not against God. I had other thoughts going. Sorry about that. So I'm going to read that again. Verse 11. An evil man seeks only rebellion, therefore a cruel messenger will be sent against him. Let a man meet a bear robbed of her cubs rather than a fool in his folly. Whoever rewards evil for good, evil will not depart from his house. The beginning of strife is, this is verse 14, the beginning of strife is like releasing water. Therefore, stop contention before a quarrel starts. And the note on verse 14 says, starting an argument, the beginning of strife, may seem harmless, but it can release a flood of damage like a small crack in a dam. The answer is to stop contention before it begins. Verse 15. He who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the just, both of them alike are an abomination to the Lord. Why is there in the hand of a fool the purchase price of wisdom, since he has no heart for it? Verse 17, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born of adversity. Verse 17's note says relationships build on love and fidelity. Relationships built on love and fidelity are a rare treasure. True friends are faithful in times of adversity as well as prosperity. In verse 18, a man devoid from understanding shakes hands in a pledge and becomes surety for his friend. Verse 19, he who loves transgression loves strife, and he who exalts his gate seeks destruction. The note on verse 19 says, exalts his gate means building a doorway that is too high to support itself. Some people seem to thrive when they are offending others. In their love of a fight, they have a way of pushing those around them to the breaking point. In similar fashion, the one who builds a doorway too high will most assuredly see the doorway collapse. And we're in verse 20. Verse 20, he who has a deceitful heart finds no good. He who has a deceitful heart finds no good, and he who has a perverse tongue falls into evil. He who begets a scoffer does so to his sorrow, and the father of a fool has no joy. A merry heart does good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. A wicked man accepts a bribe behind the back to pervert the ways of justice. Wisdom is in the sight of him who has understanding, but the eyes of a fool are on the ends of the earth. And that's verse 24. Wisdom is in the sight of him who has understanding, but the eyes of a fool are on the ends of the earth. And a note on verse 24 says, like the student who hears nothing of what his teacher says because his attention is focused elsewhere in the classroom, the fool who is inattentive to the instruction of wisdom is said to have his eyes on the ends of the earth. In verse 25, the foolish son is grief to his father and bitterness to her who bore him. Also, to punish the righteous is not good, nor to strike princes for their uprightness. He who has knowledge spares his words, and a man of understanding is of a calm spirit. Even a fool is counted wise when he holds his peace. When he shuts his lips, he is considered perspective. And that wraps up chapter 17. Let's jump over, y'all, and put our armor on in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10 through 20. All right. Let's see. Verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand, stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace, and above all, taking the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, being watchful to this end, to all perseverance and supplication for all the saints, and for me, that utterance may be given to me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in chains, that in it I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. And now we are prepared. We've got our armor on. We've got some Word of God in us, and from Proverbs, we're ready to face our day, y'all. And yesterday I went deer hunting right after here, and I got a nice little buck, and God blessed me with that. And was going to go again this morning and then go to church, but I think I'm going to go get a nap, y'all. Go get a little more sleep. And we will see you guys tomorrow. God bless y'all, each and every one of y'all. I want to challenge you. 1, to go to church today, and 2, to get out and be a blessing for someone else. God bless y'all, and have a